And no one bothered to tell him that there was an ogre standing right behind him. Oh shit. You turned the mic on.
Yeah.
You gotta warn a guy before you do that stuff.
Sorry.
Anyway, hi guys. Hello everyone. I am your host, Kristoff N. Chester, and brace yourselves because we're going to try something different for a change of pace here on From One Side to the Other. We're not going to be talking about D&D. Although that was kind of a blast. That was a lot of fun.
Those were all really good shows.
I did not expect it to turn into a 4-episode, month-long celebration. But at the same time, jeez, yeah. I mean, we got to talk about a lot of years of history of playing the game and stuff.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed last week where you all sent poor General Scratch with the intention of being a sacrificial lamb. Of course, then screw you guys. He goes off and kicks the tar out of the boss. And then the bishop, you over there, just decide to win the game by yourself.
Yeah.
Take down 4 freaking bosses.
Yeah, after my first 2 turns where I just got
absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for you.
Yeah,
Hi, Mom.
I'm not gonna lie. When that happened, I'm just like, hey, there's no way to beat this werewolf. I'm just gonna run.
Well, fortunately, the power of DM. But anyway.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
And then it got really fun. It was actually quite awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see my lovely face again. My mom doesn't like the game episodes. She doesn't like when I'm not on camera.
Well, it's because you're not on camera.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, real quick before we get into tonight, one of the weirdest things about Gen Z and social media and stuff like that? I had to have an awakening. Because it turns out apparently not everyone, and in fact very few people, actually have a good, loving mom. Like, my mom is my biggest fan. You know what I mean? But you look at a lot of people and all you hear is people complaining about their parents, and it's like, I'm sorry you guys suck. Hi, Dad. Oh, he's working on getting us on the TV so they can see us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to watch YouTube. It has its problems, but I like this platform.
Oh, yeah. I actually watched it on the big screen when I...
Oh, yeah, no, anyway, though. But we're here tonight, and we're talking about conspiracies. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not. He said he'd be here.
There's a storm going overhead. Maybe he's just waiting for that to pass. Yeah, there's lightning and thunder.
Yeah. Coincidentally, of course, by the way, the episode where we're talking about conspiracies and stuff, the weather might just knock us out by accident. Donzen, the resident Lord of Chaos. Hello.
Hello, Domson.
Hi, Tara. Yeah, I guess my mom had kind of an unfair advantage. She had great kids. But anyway.
I was a terror.
Oh.
Not really compared to some.
Yeah, I was going to say, the most terrifying Boy Scout ever. Anyway, though. Well, good morning, sunshine. Donson, sleeping in. But anyway, no, we're going to be talking about conspiracies and that kind of weird stuff. And the first one, I don't remember if we've talked about them or not, but they're actually one of my favorite conspiracy things. And even if I'm going to bring them up because they're actually relevant with something we talked about previously, another one of my favorite topics. As always, I heard that, but I wonder if the mic picked that up. I doubt the microphone got it.
That one wasn't too big.
Yeah. But anyway, so the first one we're going to talk about is... I don't know if we did talk about these guys or not. I think we... Did we?
You told me not on the show.
In the chat, if I've told you this story before, stop me.
You've not told it in full.
Okay. So, the Order of the Solar Temple, or the Order of the Temple of the Sun. This was a esoteric society, or a what would they call it? A club, a private club. What's funny is actually people joke and they think that like Lovecraft made that word up, esoteric. No, this was actually a distinction. For a long time, They can hear us, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, Tara, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Anyway, esoteric orders were actually a thing, and one of the reasons they're not anymore is these guys. Sometimes they were also referred to as the Solar Templar, which is a... We'll get to them, don't worry. Did I offend?
I'm pretty sure they heard that one.
I hope so. I felt the freaking building shake. Anyway, though. So these guys were a French society, club, whatever term you want to use. They claimed lineage to the actual Knights Templar, which is actually kind of funny if you think about it, because all this went down in the 1990s. This is when they had their rise and fall. Can you wait till I'm done talking? I'll take questions in a minute, I promise. Hold your pants. Anyway, atheist talks to God. Anyhow, it's funny that these guys rose and fell before the confessional was discovered. The one that exonerated the Templar and proved that they didn't do anything and it was a conspiracy to take them out and stuff like that. So I wonder, did these guys theorize that? Were they just using it for a cool name? Like, I'm kind of curious about that.
That was not thunder.
That wasn't thunder. Is it? Well, hello, precious.
How's the thunder?
That's nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, Buttercup.
Sit your ass down.
Eh.
Anyway, everybody, Jesus is here.
You.
Yay! Everybody's favorite character. So how are you?
Well, the dog wanted to go for a walk.
With a storm overhead?
Well, he thought that it wasn't there and there was someone watching TV.
Oh.
But as soon as we stepped outside and he saw the line, he was like, I'm not too sure about this anymore. And then he's like, let's try the other way. So we walked to the back side of the building. He's like, oh, it's over here too. And then he's like, I want to go back inside now.
Hello, Mr. Bishop. Great to have you here finally. Sit down.
I'm waiting for the right moment.
To interrupt you while you're talking.
Anyway. Now, like I said, the Order of the Sun of the Order of the Temple of the Sun, or the Solar Templar, they often were also referred to as OTS, so you might know them that way. Anyway, it's kind of funny. They actually were pretty devastating and had a pretty heavy impact in the world. Because again, we today say secret society and private club, exclusive club, esoteric order. And today these are like, spooky language. There's no secret societies. What? No. And I feel like a madman here, but like, no. Back in the 90s, yeah, these were things. They were things. Like, yeah, they existed. Stay out. You're not allowed in.
Some of them are still things to this day.
Some of them are still things. A lot of them have like changed their monikers and attitude, though.
And changed their location. There's that one that like almost every president's part of.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
There's one like deep in the woods, but
Dude.
they moved locations.
In California.
No, I don't think it's a Cali.
Keep an eye for a red dot on us, by the way, folks. Why would you mention that one? You are trying to get me shot.
I'm trying to get me shot. Why?
Oh, so edgy. How long have you worked for Games Workshop?
Forever. I'm the one that started Games Workshop.
Anyway.
Ooh.
Aw.
Now there's.
You're my invisible friend that everyone can see. Anyway. So, it was founded in 1984 by I'm going to try and pronounce this correctly. Watch me fail horribly. Joseph D. Mambro.
Mambro?
Mambro.
Joseph D. Mambro?
Mambro.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is they're most famous and known in France and Canada, but they actually didn't start there. A lot of people don't realize this. They were actually founded in the most ironic of places, Geneva, Switzerland.
Of course.
Right? But anyway, and they were interesting. They called themselves Neo-Templar.
Oh yeah.
That's a term.
Other people who call themselves Neo didn't do anything bad.
Oh yeah. Joseph's second in command was Luc Journet. Jouret, I think it's probably pronounced that. I'm not sure actually. Jouret. Jouret.
Jorge? Where is he from exactly?
Well, it was founded in Switzerland, so I assume they're Swiss.
That could be Jorge.
Jorget.
Or
Jorge,
something like that.
Either way, the point is.
I'm not good with those.
Yeah.
That could be from over there. Let's say certain person with a funny mustache that wrote it for everybody said he was from said country, but he was technically from somewhere else.
This is true. But anyhow, at their peak, we don't know exactly how many members they had, because, I mean, all we have is their word, but they claimed that they had somewhere between 300 to 400 core members at one time. What the hell does that distinction mean? Core member? I don't know. That's just what they said. And the funniest part of all, before he became a self-imposed Templar, Mambro was a jeweler. He was also known as a serial funster.
The fuck is that?
Now, I'm going to say that's an old-ass term, so probably only half the people listening to this will know what the hell that is. A funster is a really nice way to say basically a charlatan. Somebody who would basically, have they would do, events and tell people they have these great ideas, and if you could just spot me, $5,000, I can get this business off the ground. It'll be the next $1 million idea.
How about a kick to the nuts and a punch to the throat?
I'll sell you some oil from the snake.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I just need a $5,000 down payment from you, and in a year, I can pay you back $1 million easy. It'd be the easiest money you ever made. He actually apparently tried to start various other clubs and societies. In fact, he was sometimes referred to as and this is another word that's going to be hard to pronounce, a serial esoteist. Now, of course, for the uninitiated, esoteric it's basically a really fancy way to say private. But calling him a serial privatist probably doesn't. Yeah, you don't want to call yourself that.
I'm pretty sure this dude didn't have any friends growing up, and he was a single child.
That is an interesting question. You know what? Actually, can I look up his bio? Did he have siblings? Oh God, they picked the worst picture ever for his bio.
What's his name?
Joseph D. Mambro.
Looks like the knockoff version of freaking Otto Octavius.
He looks like what happens when you order Sam Raimi's Doc Ock
No. Octavius was told to bring him to work by his brothers, by his parents, I mean, and that's what he looked like.
He had 5 children.
The oldest of 3 siblings.
Oh, so he did have. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and he came out that fucking weird.
He was often bullied for his ethnic background. His father was an Italian immigrant.
He
That's
didn't
right.
have any friends.
He was a what was the term they'd called him back then? Half-bloods? When you were, See, that's the thing. Everyone complains about America being overrun with systemic racism. It's like, have you been to Europe?
Man, like they're fucking racist as fuck over there. Like in Japan too.
But
like,
it's normal there.
yeah.
Like, no, you can go to an Italian and say, hey, you suck because you're Italian. And they will be like, you got something to say?
Over here, they'll be like fighting words.
I know, seriously.
Like Japan, like if you're
Same with Japan, yeah, no.
like if you're not Japanese and if you go to some restaurants, they'll kick you out.
Oh yeah.
And
no.
then if you're with Japanese friends, they're like, but you're with me. And like that's racist.
That's not good enough. Yeah. And I'm not saying for or against anything. I'm just pointing out that it's like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. As far as racism goes, dude, America's soft.
We are now.
But anyway,
But we can go back to the old days.
you would. Anyhow, though.
Hey man,
So
with some of the assholes out nowadays running their goddamn mouths and not getting their asses beat, we can go back to the old days.
Okay, yeah, okay. Anyway, back to my point. Now, for a little while, the Temple of the Sun, it kind of hung low, and it wasn't a big deal. Like, I mean, again, before these guys, this was a thing, you know? It's like, yeah, there's another term, and this was big in America. They were restrictive or exclusive clubs. It's kind of funny, actually. A great example is that back in the 80s and 90s, a lot of places would basically get around discrimination laws against Jews. And it's actually funny because I learned about this stuff from, of all places, the Golden Girls, because they had an episode where
I just remembered something that you're gonna appreciate.
I highly doubt that, but hit me with it.
And Wolverine and Wolverine versus Deadpool, or Deadpool versus Wolverine, whatever. Deadpool's new katanas have initials on them. 2 on one side and 2 on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Those initials are for the Golden Girls.
Really?
Yep.
I did not notice that, but that's cool.
Huh.
But I can throw one back at you. Sorry, folks. I promise I'll get back to the murder and darkness that you're here for.
Anytime we start with the Golden Girls, it's because of him. That's his show. Those are his grandmas.
Greatest comedy of all time.
And them ladies.
Yes.
They're ladies.
Yes.
Were funny as fuck.
Oh my God, yes, they were the greatest comedians. But anyway.
We got him the entire
Yep.
series for Christmas. But
Anyway, so Lady Pool.
Yeah.
Was actually played by Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Baby Pool was actually their kid.
Their baby, and then Kid Pool was
their oldest
daughter.
boy.
Yeah.
Or oldest
Oldest
kid. Yeah, but anyway. Okay, so back to murder. And for a long time, the Temple of the Sun, they kind of just laid low. And again, today we go like, well, that couldn't exist. They wouldn't let that be a thing. They would, actually. It was not unusual. And again, like I was saying, it was so usual that these were things that would be mentioned in like sitcoms.
Look at it this way. The closest thing we have to those nowadays, or certain artists that was throwing parties and now he's in trouble for said stuff, they all kept quiet about that. That was a hush-hush in-group. If you're part of it, you're part of it. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah. I mean, there's still things, but no, this was like they were open and just said, yeah, no, we're a restrictive club. We're an exclusive club. We are a society. Things like that. And the thing is all that went away because of these a-holes. So after several years of just existing, because I mean, it's another exclusive club. Yep, that's a thing. They're all over the damn place. There were multiple conflicts. Leakers from within the order, who of course kept themselves anonymous because they straight up said, I can't show you my face, I can't tell you my name, the order will kill me. But There were leaks about money laundering, and the big one, the thing that like made people actually really cock an eyebrow, is arms dealing. There were accusations that they were supplying weapons to Middle Eastern factions, let's say.
Oh, come on. Are you really a secret society if you're not a little arms dealing? Just a little.
Well, but again, that's the big thing. But anyway, and what's interesting is supposedly this was all caused by the most batshit crazy thing I can tell you. Supposedly there was a divide within the order between two factions. It's split into two groups. And basically there were some who felt that a star, Sirius, basically, I'm not stoned, I promise you, or drunk. Sirius was foretelling of a transit phase that would require the order to make preparations. Other members of the order were like,
What kind of preparations?
what the freak are you talking about, dude? Get the guns in the crate and send them over to Osama. But basically, the where is it? Yeah, it all kind of came to a head because, again, one of these groups, one of these two factions, was basically trying to get the Order in trouble to get this other faction out. And the leaks got weirder and worse, and then there was a problem. There was something that, due to recent events, maybe this is too touchy of a subject to talk about, but we're going to do it anyway because sound judgment has never been my strong suit. There were several assassination attempts.
There we go. Now you're a society.
Mm-hmm. Made on various politicians in Europe. Now, here's the interesting thing. I remember hearing about this, guys, years ago, and the story always was that they did assassinate several politicians. But I'm looking here at their wiki, and I'm looking at my notes from other sites, and there's no mention at all of assassination attempts.
No, let's be honest. The media never told.
Oh no, it's I would go so far as to say I think this might be a conspiracy in itself. They because you can edit anything on Wiki.
Oh yeah.
And
were you able to find was it on
anything can be changed on the internet.
Was it broadcasted on TV or
Oh yeah, no, I remember they talked about these guys on TV. There were books, and I'm looking at this.
Videos on YouTube if you go back enough.
I'm looking here. I'm not seeing anything about assassination attempts. But here's the thing, it kind of backfired on them. Because, hold on here, let me find it in my notes here. Again, it kind of backfired because one of the two groups was spreading these stories, trying to get the order investigated. And these... I think there was a car out there. Anyway, Hi, Connie. Apparently, they managed to pull this off. The order was going to be investigated. Here's the thing that I think is really weird. They were just going to be investigated. They weren't found guilty of anything. No one had yet been arrested. Nothing had actually happened. Basically, the French government said, okay, we're sick of all this leaking and rumors and chatter and shit. We're going to look into this and we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out what is going on at this Temple of the Sun. Now there were
government hasn't been the same since Napoleon was killed himself.
There have been three. There were three major communities. One in Quebec, one in Switzerland where they were founded, and one in Paris, France. And in 1994, just on the claim, oh crud, they're going to investigate us for assassination attempts and for arms dealing and so on.
Quick, hide the guns.
No. Kill everyone. Let me see here. Yeah, it happened in waves. But basically, members in the Quebec and Switzerland chapters were instructed to exterminate traitors and silence weaker members. And you know the funniest part of all of this is that just before this went down, D. Mambro actually was on television, recorded, mocking the Waco incident, saying that that could never happen to his society. He even joked about, well, darn, they beat us to the punch. Now we'll never be as famous as them. Disgusting. I don't think I'm out of line in saying that.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
The whole Waco thing was a fucking mess and shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but still.
There was so many better ways.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, and I'm sure we'll talk about the Waco incident someday on this channel. But
yeah, I know a decent amount of that shit.
To have a live camera pointed at you and actually mock
a tragedy that happened like that,
and that was like just after it happened too. This wasn't like, making a joke about the Titanic or something. This was literally 1994. When was Waco?
93?
Yeah, was it
92?
92.
Yeah, can you check that real quick?
Because after Waco there was
February 28th to April 19th, 1993, 51 days.
Yeah, so it was literally.
And then right after Waco there was that.
There was another one.
There was another one up in I think Utah.
I think it was Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho up in the mountains.
Reno did Reno happen? Was it Reno that I'm thinking of?
Gosh, what was it?
It was a family that.
Yeah, and the government said they were a compound and they were a cult or something.
No, and it was they were just tired of everything that was going on. They decided to buy some land. The problem was most of their neighbors were part of the clan. And
Ruby Ridge, I think.
Yep. And
yeah, Ruby Ridge stand up, Idaho. Sorry.
And again, we're we all want to socialize. It's how we are. They went to go socialize with the only people that were near them. Just happened to be a bunch of douchebags.
Yeah.
And the whole incident it escalated way too fast when it shouldn't have. And they should have approached it differently. But they didn't, and
Sean is not a fan of Quebec. I've never been there.
I've been to Edmonton. That's the farthest north I've ever been. And you'd think it would have been cold. It was freaking hot. Actually, I was in Edmonton on Independence Day 2014.
So, anyway, D. Mambro basically gave out these memos that had 3 missions. Now, he only gave these to his most trusted dudes. We're talking a few dozen out of the hundreds of members, but they had 3 missions. Number 1, eliminate any traitors. So find the leakers and stuff like that and get rid of them. Number 2, execute any members who have agreed to the principle of transit, but not necessarily by physical death.
That was a good one.
that was right there too.
That was.
I hope the camera caught that flash.
Yeah. Lastly, I love how I'm listing off these orders from one of the most twisted people ever, and I've got thunder going and you crinkling a bag of snacks. The atmosphere is just peaking here, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, the third one, the one that he gave to his most trusted dudes, like literally his right-hand guys. The execution of members who didn't agree to the principle of transient and are ready to accept physical death. Now, apparently, transient was a polite way for them to say suicide. Because remember, they claimed they were Templar. Templar are warriors of God. Suicide is a sin. So obviously, you can't say suicide or do suicide. You're transiting. So
you either translate yourself or we do it for you. Yeah.
I was going to say that my chat is a pretty smart group. You know, you all see what they're doing. The orders were make the members commit suicide, and if they don't, kill them.
Jamestown.
Basically.
Before Jamestown was a line.
Well, when was Jamestown? Wasn't Jamestown in the 70s?
Jamestown was the one in South Africa. That was.
No, it wasn't South Africa. It was South.
Yeah, I think
it was still in the Americas.
South America.
Mm-hmm.
Jamestown Colt. I don't know what it would be called.
Jamestown. Just type in Jamestown. The cult was fuck, what was the name of the cult? After the Jamestown incident, that ended up being more known than the actual name of the cult.
Yeah.
The People's Temple.
Yeah, there we go.
The People's Temple, yeah.
And
We're Mr. Bishop, we're in the Kool-Aid territory. Yes, we are.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, children.
it was South America.
Oh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because at one point I was
But when was it? When was the mass murder?
Oh.
At the time, it was the biggest
Yeah,
loss
but
of American lives.
Yeah, you're saying it was before this in '94, but I think it was back in the 70s.
With you, my time periods, like when shit happens, is so far off that it's not even funny.
I am looking at.
Jamestown Massacre? Maybe that would be what you're looking for?
Because they're talking about the People's Temple.
Yeah.
December 4th, 1978.
Yeah, I was way off.
You were way off. This was way after Jamestown. But anyway.
So he was like, we copied that dude in South America, yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at Jonestown.
Yeah, that was when it happened.
Yeah, Jim Jones.
The quick version of it is people started realizing that he was making a cult. And he cared about the image and whatnot, so he moved his congregation to South America after he bought some property and whatnot, and they were all living there. A senator and a couple of reporters went down there to go see what was going on, and someone passed a note saying that they didn't want to be there, they wanted to leave because they were all forced to stay.
Yeah.
And that's when it happened. Everyone was trying to get, a good chunk of people were trying to get out, and they were trying to get in the plane, and then James was like, as soon as they leave, we're done. So he sent assassins to go kill the senator and everyone that was trying to escape. A few of them did live. And then while they were doing that, they were getting the Kool-Aid ready, and if you weren't drinking the Kool-Aid, you were getting
Him and his elites would gun you down.
Yeah, I was trying to find.
And you know the cruelest of ironies? When it finally came to the end, Jones didn't even have the guts to drink the Kool-Aid himself.
No, or shoot himself. He had one of his
One of his
do it for him.
One of his men shot him while he was trying to leave. But anyway, back to the point. Back to what we were talking about, the Sun Temple. And by the way, just in case you don't think that this Demembro is one of the most vile humans that ever existed, on September 30th of 1994, when he had sent out the letters and quietly his elites started silencing the weaker members, he personally went to some of his relatives, his in-laws, and subsequently brutally murdered Jerry Ginaud and Joel Egger, along with their infant son, whom he ritualistically executed with a wooden stake to the heart.
Is there any proof of that?
He confessed it.
Oh.
He acknowledged it. One of the victims was stabbed 50 times, in fact.
God damn, you really have to hate someone to do that shit.
Yeah, no. In the wake of all this, there were some, I want to say there were like 70 some odd people who were actually killed. Not counting the suicides, just that were murdered. And here's the weird thing. When they found Demembro's body, he had apparently committed suicide with his right-hand man. What's his name? What did we call it? Where was his name?
Luke.
The weird French-sounding name. They ritualistically scarred and destroyed each other's bodies to the point that they had to depend on dental records.
Luke Joret.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah. They apparently ritualistically brutalized each other to the point that they had to check dental records to realize, oh, hey, this is Mambro and Luke. And yes, they had also killed their own families. Mambro's wife and child were with them at the site of their mass suicide. And then it became a media shitstorm.
Yep.
There were all kinds of stories in medias in America, in France, in Canada, Switzerland, telling various contradicting stories, actually, about how they had committed suicide, things like that.
The media, they want to get the story first, and if they can't, they're going to...
Fill in the blanks.
Yep. As much as possible, make their story the more interesting one.
Yeah, there are some stories who claim that they drank poison. There are some stories that they ritualistically brutalized each other. There was, stabbings in the hearts and things. There was contradicting stories about them having plastic bags over their heads. But it all centered around this star, Sirius, which is, that's the dog star, isn't it?
Yeah.
The constellation, the dog? Yeah. But it all had to do with this star and astrology and all this other crap, which I think is hilarious that they built their whole thing around astrology, right? And then they claimed that they were descendants of Templar. I'm just going to throw this out there for the uninitiated. Astrology, not really a tenet of the Templar. I just think it's kind of funny. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. Basically, after these guys, after all this killing, and they were finding bodies all the way into November, by the way. They were finding mass suicides and murders, well into November. And again, that didn't help the fact that everyone was trying to get a story out. Everyone wanted to talk about this. And that's really when things like secret societies, private clubs, exclusive, restrictive things, they all kind of went away because nobody wanted to be compared to OTS. No one wanted to be, wait, you're a secret society? Oh, so you're like those Solar Templar.
No, we not like those buzz, stupid douchebags.
We were all out yodeling. Yodeling, hee-hoo. If you get that joke, by the way, you're officially cool. If you know that movie. The Producers.
Yeah, Producers.
Probably one of the best movies ever, honestly. Probably the only... Okay, no, because there was Elf. I was going to say, one of the very few good movies from... Goddamn, I can't remember his name now. Elf.
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell, thank you. Yeah. One of the very few good Will Ferrell movies. Heaven's Gate cult did the same thing, worshipping Halley's Comet. But anyway, yeah, no.
Fear that did that.
But now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, what's with the conspiracy talk? This isn't a conspiracy. What if I told you there was a conspiracy about this order? So basically, the ghost story of this is that Di Mambro and Luke are still alive today. That the media confusion and contradiction was a smokescreen so that they could... Don't look at me like I'm crazy. I'm not making this up. So that they could run away to Argentina.
Why is it always Argentina or something?
Well, you know, the Nazis
if it
make
worked
it...
if it worked for them, it could work for anybody else.
It worked for the Nazis, right? But anyway...
Yeah, they were still finding them until like what?
We're still finding them now.
Yeah, that's true.
There are... Yeah, Heaven's Gate was after. That was 1997.
Also, it was Hale-Bopp, not Halley's Comet.
Oh, excuse me. But anyway, but no, supposedly they are still alive, and the temple still exists in the underworld, you know, in arms dealing, drug trafficking, human trafficking, which I do want to say something real quick. Going through all this work just so you could continue to be smugglers, doesn't that seem a little bit, you know, cartoonishly evil, like Snidely Whiplash? But then again, this is a guy who literally Buffy the Vampire Slayer to baby, so maybe. You think I'm making that up? No, he did. Wooden stake to the heart of a baby.
I mean, that'll do it.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the weird part. It's described as it was a ritualistic killing.
Probably was.
I want to know.
I bet $5 that didn't actually happen.
That way.
That way, it was just someone said that because there were secret society and because of whatever that was going on, that they did it, and the story it's one of those stories that stuck.
Yeah, but anyway, supposedly they paid off people in the media to run Hail Marys and contradicting stories so that they could fake their deaths.
The media most does stories that the government wants you to know.
Well, see, here's the thing, and we'll touch more on that later. But anyway, I wanted to bring them up because I actually have been able to track something down that was bugging me about another episode we did. Because we were talking about the Knights Templar a while back. And I actually really like the Knights Templar. I think they're a fascinating point in history. I think they're an interesting people. Personally, I'm glad that, you know, we found out, tragically way, way too late, but we found out that they actually were not an evil society. They were not bad people. They did nothing wrong. But there's something that's always bugged me. The big accusation against them was that they worshipped a devil named Baphomet. Now, crank it up a little. I don't think they can hear you on... There you go. Come on. I can still hear out of this ear, Mikey.
Cool. Continue.
Anyway. Now...
He's not even sharing.
I know. Like, seriously.
You hate eating on camera. Bishop, you want some pistachios?
Yes.
Keep them from him, please. Thank you. Anyway. Baphomet.
Thank you.
Now then. I have always found the subject of occultism very interesting. I also find it very frustrating because 75% of all occultism is somebody who doesn't know a goddamn thing about what they're talking about, refusing to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
A great example of this is Beelzebub. Everybody loves to mention Beelzebub. No. I'm not doing it. No. My blood pressure can't take it. We're sticking to this topic. So, Baphomet was a devil claimed to be worshipped by the Templar when they were being demonized and persecuted. The Pope picked that name because it was completely made up. The name Baphomet doesn't appear in the Bible. It's not mentioned in any of the arcane volumes that come from before the time of the Crusades, where we get a lot of devil names from.
We don't call it Crusades anymore. It's peacekeeping.
Keep it from... I literally said, keep them from him.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Anyway. No, he chose that name because of the fact it was nothing. And because he knew people wouldn't question it. The second you say something is a devil, no one's going to... Who would question the Pope about a devil,
Well,
right?
Let's be honest. Back in the day, they were keeping people from learning how to read, write, do math.
Which, by the way...
The Templar was going
actually
out of the way,
teaching people.
Yeah, because they, if I remember correctly, from what you told me, they didn't accept the gifts, payments.
Because they had
because they saw it as a form of bribery.
A piety of anti-bribery. They couldn't accept anything that could be seen as a gift or a bribe, so they had to do transactions. And 9 times out of 10, I mean, a Knights Templar isn't going to be carrying around a satchel of gold or something.
Yeah.
So, well, how do you pay someone for something? You teach them. You teach them.
You follow the Bible. Teach. Why feed a man when you can show him how to fish and feed him for?
Yeah, feed him for the rest of his life. Exactly. But anyway, no. The word Baphomet appears on a scroll that was a documentation of the siege of Antioch. I think is how I pronounce it. Antioch. Thank you. This is the one and only reference to the name Baphomet. Quote, "As the next day dawned, they, the inhabitants of Antioch, called loudly upon Baphomet, and we prayed silently in our hearts to God. Then we attacked and forced all of them outside the city walls." That's it. That is the beginning and the end of the actual lore of Baphomet. He was a regional deity worshipped by the inhabitants of Antioch. The goat-headed hermaphrodite thing that they, try to sell at Target stores nowadays, it's completely made up. And I don't mean that from the atheistic perspective of religion is made up. No. It was made up within the context to just be a scary image that nobody would question. It has no appearance at all in any valid history of occultism or anything. Not in the Bible, not in the Torah, not in the Quran. This does not exist except for this single paragraph written in a battle report during the siege of Antioch, which was during the French Crusades. That's it.
Peacekeeping.
It's not even within the context of mythology. So real quick, all you edgelords who love the image of Baphomet, read a damn book. I can't stand Baphomet. I cannot. It is so annoying. That's it. That is the extent of his lore before other occultists came along and started writing up stuff and just making up a spooky, scary devil that nobody would question. Real quick, it is kind of funny that King Philip the Fair had a hand in making up this bogus ghost story about a devil that doesn't exist in the contexts of any Abrahamic religions at all.
That's how that goes, man.
I know, but it's still annoying as hell because, again, you get so many of these edgelords who think they're so smug and smart, and they get like a tattoo of Baphomet or something, or they want to put a statue of Baphomet up across the street from a church, and it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. I don't have a problem if you want to call yourself a Satanist or being an edgelord, whatever. That's you, dude. That's you. But we live in the age where literally you could hold all the information in the world in your hand. and you choose to be lazy and not learn what the hell you're talking about. It took me 2 minutes to look up the origins of the name Baphomet. What's your excuse?
People are fucking Karens, and Karens only give a fuck about what they say. Fuck your knowledge.
Yeah, basically.
I'm right.
That's that.
Regardless of what you say.
You're not. That's the problem.
Yeah, but like, let's be
I know.
honest.
But yeah, that's Baphomet. That's Baphomet and how he tied to the Templar. No existence in anything else at all. He literally, it was one single paragraph mentioning. You know the funny thing I realize now? That battle report would have been written long after the fight. What are the odds he didn't even hear the name right and was like, they said something. What did they say?
That's probably what it was.
It started with a B.
Maybe it was Baal.
Baal, yeah, they. See, I will say, I don't know how you get. But yeah, I mean, like, even the one source of the name isn't really even that much to go on. Because, I mean, if you're in a fight, are you going to really be able to remember clearly the random thing that somebody shouted before it went to swords and shields?
Depending on what your rank is and what your job is, maybe.
Maybe, but again, it's just so funny that there's so much.
Like,
yeah, Mom. It was all money. He owed the Templar massive amounts of money, and he didn't want to pay.
Because he's a fucking douchebag.
He was, but yet he was known as the Fair.
Yeah, fair my ass. Job wise is like they could have probably had assassins, recon teams. Take the sniper school, like one of America's sniper schools. That didn't become an actual thing until Vietnam.
Yeah.
A few years before Vietnam. Whatever snipers we had during World War I, II, and the other war before Vietnam, they were
Korea.
They were just
Marksmen.
they were just disbanded afterwards. Because they always saw it as ungentlemanly fighting.
Yeah.
And then a few years before before we went to Vietnam, they brought it back. They started a whole.
Yeah, it was a whole rank.
Yeah, and ended up being the whole thing. But the problem is, it took a minute for them to realize what an actual sniper was. The best sniper we had during Vietnam, during the first 2-3 months of his tour. He was a guardsman at a gate.
Mm-hmm. There you go. One of the most vicious deadeyes in history, and he had a day job.
He's a deadeye!
Oh, that was one of my favorite episodes still.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to move on to the next conspiracy. And this one, I promise, is actually more of a conspiracy we're going to talk about.
I'm going to try to derail as much as possible.
Are you ready for a shocking revelation? Birds aren't real. So, wrap your brain around this one, boys and girls.
Whose stupid idea was it first?
Peter MacNold.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is, and
Can I smack him
he's a
with a fish?
He's 23 years old. He's a freaking kid.
I want to smack him with a tuna.
Now, hold on. Here's the funny thing. So, he created Birds Aren't Real in 2017. Now, the way he did this was basically social media. He made groups in Facebook and Twitter and so on, and basically just spread fake blueprints and diagrams about how birds are actually machines. Oh, yeah, Tara would love this one. Anyway, but basically the proposed theory is that there are no birds. They are all incredibly sophisticated and advanced forms of surveillance drones.
Gee, yeah.
I'm not done.
Guys never had a bird nest on his balcony.
Yeah, or seen an egg hatch.
Or had bad birds.
Yeah, we have 2 predictions here for like a while.
Now, yeah, Donson brings a good point. For the record, yes, there are decoy drones that are meant to look at a distance like birds. But anyway, here's the thing. Finally, in 2021, he confessed that he made it all up. Now hold on. Get ready to scrape your brains off the ceiling, though. But he had a good reason. He had a good reason to, put all this money by advertising. No, he literally took money and bought billboard signs, bought ad space, made merchandise. Birds aren't real.
Still want to smack him with a tuna.
He did it to teach the world a lesson about the dangers of how false information can spread on social media.
Oh, look, information that people already had.
Yeah.
Birds aren't real.
He claimed that it was, and I'll quote him actually, the goal is a parody of misinformation that Gen Z often stews itself in. Birds Aren't Real is not a shallow satire of conspiracy from the outside. It came from deep within, he told the New York Times. A lot of people in our generation feel that lunacy is in all the time. And Birds Aren't Real is a way for people to process the difficulties of false information and false flag campaigns.
I want to smack him with a chicken now. A live chicken.
And then
hold the chicken by the legs and just smack him with it.
Is this real?
And I want to do it with the rooster, and then I'm going to throw the rooster at him.
Just let the bird have him. Now, what's funny is he actually got in trouble because there was a bit of backlash. See,
Tends to happen when you fucking throw
Yeah.
false information out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, here's the problem. And I'm kind of foreshadowing something I'll talk about later on in the show. There are crazy people in this world. And all they need to do is see the right post, the right picture, the right little word of text, and they will snap. In response to the assertions that birds aren't real and they are actually government surveillance equipment, several lunatics took to publicly brandishing firearms and throwing rocks and other projectiles in public spaces in an attempt to kill birds, and then viciously ripped their bodies open to find the surveillance equipment that obviously wasn't inside. Fortunately, nobody was killed. Well, aside from the birds. Many pigeons lost their lives. But no people were actually killed as a result of this. Not for lack of trying, though. There were literally people who would go, because you've seen those, city parks where there's just dozens of birds. Yep, walk out there with a BB gun or a freaking little piece of shit pistol and start shooting at the birds.
That's what I do the job perfectly fine.
I knew Sean would defend it. Now, see, there's a part of me that does want to admit. He said, to be fair, it was really funny, and it is. But good satire is impossible to separate from genuine insanity. Yeah, but again, see, I think my problem with Birds Aren't Real is that this dude genuinely put people in harm's way, and he completely just absolved himself of any kind of guilt.
See, if you want to dress up as a creature and go scare people, and then they start shooting at you, it's perfectly fine. That's okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that just a few weeks ago, the Chocoloca monster.
But if you...
I'm related to
people
him. I'm related to him, by the way.
To where they're starting to shoot each other because of your stupid ass fucking comments, you should be held responsible.
I agree. Again, thankfully nobody was actually hurt, but boy howdy did he come close for not trying, am I right?
Yeah, it could have gone sideways easily.
Yeah.
And very quickly.
He has later made other comments. Are you ready for this one? This one's going to boil your blood. Yes, we have been intentionally spreading misinformation for the past 4 years, but it's with purpose. It's about holding up a mirror to America in the age of the internet. You jackass, you literally almost got children shot. Yeah, like, that's what pisses me off. It's like,
You know,
it just own it that you made a monster you couldn't control.
there are giant birds that are still kind of close to dinosaurs.
Oh,
They
we've
look
talked about those.
They look evil as fuck, and they have giant fucking claws. Let's get one of those motherfuckers in a room with him. After we piss them off,
Oh, yeah, poke them with a stick or something.
we tell them that they're not real, and the guy who said so was.
I don't think a bird. That's a good question. Do you think a bird would care if you were like, "You're not real"? Bird's just sitting there. What'd I do? Oh God, one of those parrots, the gray parrots, the African gray parrots that are stupidly smart. Just give one an existential crisis. Birds aren't real. You're not real. Bird's just sitting there. Polly want to exist.
Polly no exist.
Polly angry. Polly not fake. Polly mad. But yeah, no. This chode. And see, here's the thing. This wasn't just like he went out and posted some silly stuff on social media. No,
He went out of his way to do this shit.
He
If I
bought
was related
property.
If I was related to him, anytime
Oh.
I saw him, I would be smacking him.
Yeah,
So many
yeah,
things.
my mom brings a good point. Not to mention the fact that lots of innocent animals that literally were not doing anything at all.
Besides existing.
Yeah, were brutally shot and ripped apart. That is horrible. I mean, like seriously, like what were they doing? You know, I just realized. You know, on top of all this, imagine being those little old people who go out to the parks to give breadcrumbs to the birds, and then some dumbass freaking.
Dude, all those people have records now for some stupid ass shit. Can't have guns anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're on a fucking watch list.
Can't even apply for certain jobs. Can't move to certain places. And again,
All because of I would sue the shit out of that kid.
oh gee, I imagine people probably did. People probably did want to go after this little prick. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not too much else to talk about it. But no, this is the truth of the birds aren't real conspiracy. I wonder if the website is still up. Because he made a website, birds aren't real. Like it was like birdsaren'treal.com. I think it was that. But no, this was not just, you know, he posted, fuck your mother or something on social media. No. He literally got a domain name for a website. I don't remember if it was called Birds Aren't Real or something else. He bought billboards. He had merch. He had merchandise of Birds Aren't Real.
Still has merch.
Yeah.
It's still up.
Yeah.
It still exists.
Yeah.
Oh God, that just makes me angry. Actually,
There's a shirt that says "I am alive" with a pigeon on it. Birds aren't real. Birds aren't real.
see again, there's a part of me that would almost be okay with this if it was like an actual joke.
But it's not. It's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like Bigfoot ate my ass.
Yeah, like I have no problems with cryptid and conspiracy humor. That's perfectly fine. I am an adamant agreeer that really nothing is sacred. If you can't make a joke about it, something is wrong. Anything can be mocked, in my personal opinion, as long as you're not like, you know, trying to actually undermine it or something like that. But
Oh my gosh, it's. Yes, the website is still up. Birdsaren'treal.com.
I'm not endorsing it, by the way. I'm just saying,
If you see this kid, smack him with a Rover chicken.
if a real chicken is not available.
His website is pretty cool.
No, because
like,
that's just
design.
mean. That's
But-
like after what you just said of what happened to the birds and shit. I'm like, yeah, that's just mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
And again,
like,
remember, this was years until he admitted it. He didn't call it satire. He didn't say it's a brand, it's a joke, until years later when shit hit fan. That's when he finally started to admit that it was satirical and it was meant to be thought-provoking. This is the kind of douchebag who would say he has a degree in philosophy. I bet you anything.
No, he would have a degree in film. Most useless degree ever.
You know, now that I think about it, I wonder, statistically speaking, what degree is most common among serial killers?
Law.
A lot of serial killers are Eagle Scouts.
Yeah, a lot of Scouts. I don't understand why people make fun of the Boy Scouts. Why would you make fun of people who, as children, for fun, learned how to hide a body?
Shit, some serial killers are into fucking scoutmasters.
Yep. I like my new job, Mom. By the way, real quick aside, I'm an apprentice butcher now. But anyway, back to my topic. Yeah, no, this could have been a funny, quirky, weird thing.
And it could have, if you did it to the point where, it was just a brand and, you were doing something stupid to where people,
I can understand.
Innocent animals were getting hurt. Children were possibly not getting sent to the hospital.
Yeah.
And people's lives being ruined. Then, fuck yeah, that shit's funny as shit.
Yeah, it's actually, it is.
Hey, I know that dude on that, up there.
The Golden State Killer?
Uh-huh. He was also the Golden State, R-word.
Yeah. Anyway, though, we're going to get back to topic.
He was also a cop.
But yeah. Again, birds aren't real. It's, I guess in a way, it's disappointing because, again, it was a clever thing and it is funny until you realize that this douchebag let it get way out of hand. And the worst part is that there are a lot of people who don't know it was a joke. There are people who genuinely, suffer with paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell them that birds are surveillance equipment. Dude, that could really F up them.
Oh yeah,
their
especially
whole
people
life.
Who aren't consistent with their medication and stuff. That's.
Ooh. Or worse, they
still haven't gotten the help that they need, and
yeah, people who are choosing to just suffer through instead of actually getting help. Which, by the way, real quick, I'm gonna bring this up. We haven't done this in a while. If those kind of dark thoughts are getting into your head, you have every right to seek help. It is not weak. It is not failure. It doesn't make you a bad person. In fact, I would argue it makes you way stronger. Okay? Again, birds aren't real could have been really funny, but lines have been crossed. And
could have been an awesome brand, but
oh yeah, no, it could have been a cool, quirky, weird thing. We could have all had fun with it. Nope. Pretentious dumbass got in his own way.
And then as soon as he saw shit was hitting the fan, he didn't know what the fuck to do to get himself out of trouble.
Another fun sense that there was actually a protest. No, people actually were protesting outside of where was it? Hold on, I had it.
You know, I'm not surprised about that. You got idiots breaking into farmers' property of farmers, trying to steal their livelihood and whatnot, and then being mad because they got shot at.
Yeah. Where was it?
What are you
Of course. The birds aren't real protest. Guess where they happened?
California.
Other side.
New York.
Down.
Florida?
Yep.
That should have been the first fucking guess.
Parkland, Florida. There was a large organized protest of students demanding that the U.S. government discontinue the use of surveillance equipment in the form of fake birds.
You know, my sister just started college. I'm about to call her. If she becomes one of these idiots, she's getting disowned.
I'm on board. It would happen in... God damn. Again, you know, the more you hear about this, the more you think it is actually stupidly lucky that no one got hurt. In Florida, they were protesting this. Florida!
You know, I'm more surprised the shootings didn't start in Florida. But the protesting, I'm more surprised that was in California.
Yeah, but no. There was a protest. There was actually college students standing around the city council town hall, mayor office, whatever the hell it is, of Parkland, Florida. You set up a protest about the government using bird drones for surveillance in a state that is basically powered by the subconscious will of inbred meth heads, and no one got shot? How are you that lucky? Seriously, that is a net 20. Oh, thank you.
He's gonna stab you with a knife now. That was meant for the buddies.
Oh, God. Would you like to tell them about your irrational fear of rabbits?
Oh. I have an irrational fear about rabbits.
It's very Oh! Hi, Choopy. Choopy the Chupacabra, everybody. Here, go play with those goats over there. Oh, dear. Forgot not to do that. Anyway.
You always do that. The poor goats.
Anyway. But yeah. That's Birds Aren't Real. Thankfully, there's not too much to talk about with this one because it was short-lived. Little prick. You know the worst part of all of it? I guarantee you, this whole stunt got that bastard laid. Calm down.
What the fuck was that?
That's that little bastard with the knife. Who gave you that?
You stole his pistachios. What do you think I was calling me out for?
I thought you were signaling him.
No, I was calling him over.
Put the knife down. Calm down. Where do you keep finding those? I keep taking them from... Choopy?
He got away.
Choopy, everybody. You know what? Here, why don't you just sit over here with Famine? Sit with Famine. Be good. For once. You're out of screen, but oh well. Anyway, again, this kid, Peter, if there's some way that you hear this, you scored the most successive net 20. Excuse me. You scored the most successive net 20s I think I've ever seen in my life that nobody got hurt from this stupid shit.
If I ever see you, just know that I'm going to start carrying a rubber chicken in the car. You will be smacked with it.
Is that a life goal now? Smack Peter Ondo? How would you pronounce it?
It's Peter Dumbass.
Peter Dumbass, yeah. Peter McLendoe. McDowell? Dole? McLeod? Macla douchebag?
Yeah.
Macla dumbass?
We need Bobby Hill. We need to tell Bobby Hill that this dumbass took his purse. See, Bear got it.
I don't know you, that's my purse! Boom! Right in the testes!
Oh, I love King of the Hill.
Hank almost lost his boys that day.
My sister is breeding rabbits, actually. So, real quick...
Wait, food rabbits or pet rabbits?
Probably food if she's breeding them. But anyway, real quick. So when I was running my original D&D campaign, I was going to do a session based around conspiracies. So I asked all my players, what's your favorite conspiracy theory? What's your favorite, thing? And I got some very interesting responses.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember what mine was.
Rabbits are secretly taking over the world.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the one I started.
Mm-hmm. Another one. I'll do a quick shout out. Shout out to Alex Jones. Be he ever so controversial, he is a glorious font of conspiracy theory humor. In fact, if I recall correctly, when I asked my players, "What's your favorite conspiracy theory?" the bishop just slam dunks it, and he goes, "They're turning the freaking frogs gay!"
Nope.
All the conspiracies he could have mentioned, that one was what he just shouted. And they're 4-H, so they are for food.
Fuck yeah.
But anyway, no. And so it became a running joke that he has an irrational fear of rabbits. Because literally he just blurts out, rabbits secretly rule the world.
No, they're secretly taking over the world.
Yeah.
Any assassination that doesn't make any sense.
Rabbit. Mm-hmm.
Any heist that happens and no one knows what's going on.
Rabbit.
There are no clues to where the suspect went to.
Rabbit.
They ate them. Rabbits are everywhere. They reproduce really quickly.
Especially around here, we have a lot of rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
And that's why I came up with it. I thought it was fucking stupid or ridiculous, and it would be funny as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you should start a big promotional campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that type of money for that stupid ass shit, and I'm not about to be held responsible for the stupidity of fucking people.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, just a disclaimer. No, rabbits are not secretly taking over the world. No.
They're not assassinating people.
They're not birds are not surveillance equipment. Please, for the love of your God.
Stop being a dumbass. Go get help.
Yes.
Stupid jackass. And smack that prick in the fucking face with a rubber chicken.
Calm down.
No.
He's excited.
He gets excited at the mention of rabbits taking over the world, I guess. Okay.
Because rabbits are food for him.
Rabbits are food for everyone. Actually, I don't know if I've had rabbit.
There is a butcher shop
Pretty sure I
that
have.
I like going to that has
Pretty sure I have.
exotic meat.
Yeah.
Why don't you get us some?
Yeah, bring some.
That shit's expensive as fuck.
We can give you some money.
We can help.
You'd have to come over and cook it.
Mm-hmm.
Promise we'll clean the kitchen.
Anyway, though, but we are getting close to time, so we've had some fun here. We've laughed a bit, but there is a topic about conspiracy theories. This is the big kahuna. This is the big one. This is referred to as the last conspiracy. This is no. This is literally that's literally what they call this, the last conspiracy, because everything else that you've heard, Roswell, X assassination,
The
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 rabbits,
gay frogs.
the frogs, the birds, all of it pales.
And their gay wands. That they keep in their prison pocket.
Everything that you've ever heard, every story about every terrorist attack, everything will pale compared to this conspiracy. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
There are people who seriously will tell, you shouldn't talk about this one because, this one is, truly mind-breaking if you think about it too much. It goes to a pretty dark place, actually.
If we end up disappearing in the next couple of days, it was the rabbits.
We all know why.
It was the rabbits.
But are you ready?
I am never ready. I'm Mexican.
What do those two things have to... I don't want to know. No. I don't want to lose my rights to stream. All right, here we go. I'm going to tell you the last conspiracy you will ever hear. If you accept this conspiracy theory, everything falls to the wayside. This is Lovecraftian level mind-breaking.
Shenanigans.
There are no conspiracies. Everything we've talked about, all these stories, the assassinations, the assassination attempts, the terrorist attacks, they were completely random happenstances. There is no secret society. There is no Illuminati. There is no obnoxious millennial making up websites and scaring people out of their minds, causing panic. What there is a world filled with roughly 8 billion absolutely insane, potentially homicidal people. And then there's you, listening to this. The people that you expect to protect you, the law, the government, even your families and friends, they're all powerless. All it's going to take to completely destroy your world, ruin everything you've ever cared about, is for one idiot to see one post on Instagram and go grab a gun. There is no man at the wheel. The truth of the matter is, your Oogie Boogie, Knights Templar, your scary gods, your Illuminati, they're all security blankets that you tell yourself are real. Because it's better for there to be a corrupt order to everything than pure chaos. There is no Big Brother watching you. Which means that you are definitively alone in a world where literally anything horrible could happen to you at any moment. The lizard men that live underneath Denver Airport, the baby sacrificing politicians in Congress, they're all characters you made up because the truth was infinitely more terrifying and far more vast than any villain or bigot or alien. The only real crazy person in a world of crazy people is you.
Go touch some grass.
But hey, it's just a theory. What do I know? So, aren't you glad we're not talking about D&D anymore? No, that's the last conspiracy. Because again, I wonder if Lovecraft had a hand in that, because that goes to some really nihilistic, dark thoughts, doesn't it? Mr. Bishop!
What is it?
Thank you. I wonder if he meant to say something else that starts with a you. But no, the last conspiracy theory is a real thing. And again, it ties to like nihilism and stuff like that. The funny thing is that actually it kind of disproves itself, if you think about it. Because the whole idea of the last conspiracy is that there is no conspiracies. Everything
So that
going
means
on.
that this one doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, there's that. If I say that, X doesn't exist and I am X, then therefore I don't exist. But anyway, it's a paradox. It's a loop. But also, the truth of the matter is, it's right. There are crazy people in this world. And the funny thing is that those crazy people sometimes meet each other and they have bad ideas. Now, personally, I don't adhere to the last conspiracy because, shit's crazy. And sometimes people try to do stupid shit and get away with things.
And then there are people who who just had the horrible childhood growing up. They didn't have the support system they had, and they end up doing horrible fucking things to each other and causing tragedies.
Yeah. Or, not thinking at all about the consequences of their actions and making websites and buying billboards and shit. But yes, for the record, Mom, Bigfoot is real. I completely agree with you on that.
I know a Bigfoot expert.
No, you don't.
I know him too. He's a great guy.
We're all a little crazy. Well, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Bishop, I knew Bishop would make that statement. We're all a little bit crazy here. Of course we are.
Normality is different to each person.
Normality is an affliction. The unformed king can cure you. But anyway, guys, we're back to form with this. Speaking of getting back to form, we are getting close to time to wrap it up. we still have some states to do for our cryptids of America, don't we?
We do a lot.
We haven't
I
even
don't think
done
I don't think you got even a half.
We might be close to half.
We've had what? 4 cryptid shows. 4 times 3 is 12. Yeah.
I think we do like. I
Good
think
God, we are only about a quarter of the way, huh?
Yeah, I think we're only doing it like once a month.
Yeah,
But again, we're doing that so that way, like.
Well, yeah, we want to spread this out, and so there you go, folks. On that back-breaking, nihilistic final conspiracy.
I've heard worse.
I say people do worse.
Yeah.
Back in the day when YouTube didn't have like the regulations it has now.
Oh my.
You were able to see some horrific
jeez.
things on there.
You know, that's a whole episode in itself.
Not just
Creepy
that,
abandoned
but, like,
video. See, the problem is that a lot of those videos are gone now.
I can still find a few. It's just you have to go to the really. Like,
You gotta go to some dark places.
the dark spots in YouTube. Like they're like, YouTube's trying to push out the creepy, the weird, and the stuff out of their
Trying to be, we're
format.
family friendly.
Yeah. So good people that I used to follow that did that type of stuff, like they're being demonetized, they're having to move to to different platforms, but yeah, like.
But anyway, next week we're going back to our cryptids of America. 3 more cryptids from 3 more states. The one problem is, Don beat me to it. I was going to say,
What 3 states?
what 3? Yeah, give us some suggestions. Where would you like us to talk about? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of losing track of where we have been.
So Donson
Says Louisiana. We
so
haven't done Louisiana, I think.
We've done Colorado, we've done Wyoming, we've done Hawaii.
I remember that, the little guys.
We did the gay,
The gay frog, the Loveland frogs.
You know, just because he might potentially have a wand up his butt doesn't mean he's gay.
Yes, it does.
He's super duper gay.
Hold on, wait. Meme attack. Gay! Oh, God,
that was horrible. Have we done Alaska yet?
I don't think we have talked about Alaska. No, did we? I think we did.
You know what would be a good one? The Appalachian Mountains.
That's not a state.
That's not a state.
It's in Wyoming.
That's an area.
That should be its own video.
Donson is saying Alaska, Kansas, and Louisiana.
Those are good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, you said
My mom
Alaska.
wants more vampires and werewolves. Maybe we'll talk about that soon. We are getting close to October. Remember last year?
You know what we should do is after we get the states done, we should do
Around the world,
Yeah.
countries. Yeah.
There's a werewolf in Austria.
Oh, where's Bray Road?
Michigan.
Have we done Michigan yet?
I think it's.
I love the Beast of Bray Road.
I do too. We talked about the Gable film.
We talked about the Gable film, which was supposed to be the Beast of Bray. These are questions for behind the scenes. But yeah, next week we'll be talking about
Wisconsin.
I
don't think we've done Wisconsin.
No, I don't think we have. Well, you know what we need to do is we need to get a.
We actually made a list, yeah.
Not that. Let's get a map of the
And just start
states.
filling them in.
Yeah, and then we'll like, I can draw the ones that we've done into the state.
I'd be down with that. But anyway,
I could get a map and find out which ones we've done.
Yeah, we
And
just
then,
need to watch back the episodes, basically.
And then just give you the names of the ones we've done, and I can like find illustrations of them and just draw them in.
Okay.
But-
and then after we're done, we can make it into a sticker.
Yeah, or something. But anyway, boys and girls.
So are we doing Alaska, Kansas, and Louisiana?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you what we're doing next week. That would ruin the suspense.
And the surprise. Never ruin the surprise.
Never.
Don't be a douche.
Don't be a douche. But anyway, boys and girls, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that we entertained you. I hope none of you are having mental fits after I told you the last conspiracy. But
Go touch some grass.
God, breathe. I promise you're okay. There's nothing in the air. And remember, boys and girls, keep checking the shadows.
The rabbits killed JFK.
Oh my lack of a god, Jesus!
Please tell me
Please tell me that didn't get caught.